So let's get on to covering the species that were in news in the month of July 2019. Alright, the first one is Nilgiri tahr, and this is how it looks. It's definitely an animal. It's not a bird, it's an animal, a four-legged animal. It's a state animal of Tamil Nadu. This is not very important, but this is showcasing one thing, that this is something that resides right there in the Tamil Nadu, and we know Tamil Nadu is a part of Western Ghats. So this is point number one, that it's endemic to Nilgiri Hills, southern portion of the Western Ghats, and the Tamil Nadu and Kerala in southern India, Annamalai Hills, Palani Hills. Maybe we will not be able to memorize this much, but an idea would suffice that Nilgiri tahr is found not in the Himalayan or in the northeastern area, but in the Western Ghats. And either way, we have to memorize that Annamalai Hills and Palani Hills, they are right there in the southern India, specifically in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. That's it. So everything here is something that is there as a part of Western Ghats, and this is our second point. The Nilgiri tahr, endemic to Western Ghats. That's it. And Nilgiri Hills is there, and this is the place where Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats meet, and this too is important because UPSC did ask us this question: where is the place where the Western and Eastern Ghats meet? So answer is the Nilgiri Hills. So second is that something which is not important, saddleback. So Nilgiri tahr are also known as saddlebacks, and it's not important. Why we're calling it so? Because adult males, they develop a saddle onto their back which is of light grey color, and this is the reason they are being called as saddlebacks. Absolutely not important. What are the threats? Hunting, habitat loss because of domestic livestock and the spread of invasive plants, and plus climate change. So again, nothing for us to understand anything. Everything is self-explanatory. They inhabit what? Open mountain grassland habitats. So mountain means mountain. So grasslands that are there at a very higher elevation, these Nilgiri tahr live there. Elevation exactly how much? It's 1200 to 2600 meter. So maybe we can be able to memorize this much. So only broad idea would suffice that generally above 200 meter is something where mountain grasslands are found, and it is their habitat of the southern Western Ghats. That's it. Again, in the Iravikulam National Park, which is where? It's in Kerala. We are having 700 to 800 Nilgiri tahr, and this is the place where we are having the largest wildlife population of Nilgiri tahr in the world. Again, not very important. This too is not something important. Now this is important, that under IUCN it is endangered, and under Wildlife Protection Act 1972 it is under Schedule 1. So it's really important. It is endangered because the population is less than 2500, and this is the very reason IUCN categorized it as an endangered species. And again, if it is endangered, then definitely we would giving it highest level of protection. That means putting it under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So Nilgiri tahr is really important. It's a state animal of Tamil Nadu. This is not something important, but other things are definitely. It's endemic to Western Ghats or Nilgiri Hills or the southern India, and threats are either way simple. Inhabit what? Open mountain grassland habitats which are generally found above 200 meters, and it's in the southern Western Ghats. That's it. Open mountain grassland habitats are there in the Himalayan as well, but here we're talking about the Nilgiri tahr habitation only. So this is the very reason we have mentioned of the southern Western Ghats here. But again, nothing very difficult to understand. Let's move on to the next species. This is Indian tiger, and tiger has 4 or 5 species, but here we're talking about the Indian tiger only, which we call as Royal Bengal tiger as well. This is important, and the scientific name is Panthera tigris. This is how it looks. I'm sure we already know, we must all have seen it, how it looks. So this is its photo right here. Its population is native to the Indian subcontinent. So it's not just India, it's Indian subcontinent. So it means Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan as well. It may also be found in the areas of China and Burma. So one thing got clear, that it is not that is found only in India. It is found in Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and may also be found in China and Burma as well. This is point number 1. So if an extreme statement comes that Indian tiger or Royal Bengal tiger are found only in India, then that would be wrong, although its name is suggesting this thing as if they are found only in India, but then this is not the case. They are found in Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and maybe in China and Burma as well. This is point number 1. India is home to the 80% of the global tiger population. Very, very important, because whenever we are to talk about giving protection to the Royal Bengal tiger, India would be playing a leading role here, because up to 80% of the population is right there in India. Threats are what? Poaching, loss and fragmentation of habitat. Is either way simple. Human tiger conflict is there. Now habitat is what? So basically it's the forest, because these are the tigers that they would bound to be live in the forest. They would be living in the forest, but what sort of forest? Tropical moist evergreen forest, tropical dry forest, mangroves, subtropical temperate upland forest, and alluvial grassland. This is something that we just have to memorize. We really can't understand them beyond a point. IUCN status is endangered, and under CITES they are Appendix 1. Further, under Wildlife Protection 1972 they are under Schedule 1. Again, nothing difficult to comprehend here as well. They are something which are under endangered category, so they are bound to be given highest level of protection under all the other possible means. It could be CITES, it could be the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. This is either way simple. So we have covered this as well. Every point of this thing was also important, so please revise it. That's it. Moving on to the next species, and this too is something not very important, but again we have to cover it. So the name is this: Cryosamolon squamiferum. This is how it is: CHRYSOMALLON. Cryosamolon SQUAMIFERUM. Squamiferum. Basically it is what? It's a snail, but because we have to cover its entire, so it got fancy name. Although it's a snail, but its name is Cryosamolon squamiferum. Alright, I don't think UPSC is going to ask us this, but still let's just cover it. It got scaly foot, and it is found only at 3 spots in the Indian Ocean. So Indian Ocean is very big, but in that very big ocean, only at 3 exact spots this snail is found. Why exactly at only these 3 spots? Because it is found at the hydrothermal vents. Hydro means water, thermal means heat, and vent mean an opening. So opening where sort of heat is coming up. So this is where it is found. It's there in the Indian Ocean, east of Madagascar. That's it. Under IUCN, it is status is endangered. This is something easy to memorize, and this is the first species to be officially declared what? Threatened due to what? Due to deep sea mining. This entire sentence is important. This is not the first species to be discovered threatened. We are already having a lot of species in the threatened category, but because of deep sea mining, this is the first one that has gotten the threatened status. So this is important. First species to be officially declared threatened due to deep sea mining, and there is one project of deep sea mining carried out by India as well. Please write in the comment section the name of that very project. It's really, really important. So we have covered this as well. It's not that important, but again, nothing difficult here. So I'm sure we must have gotten each and every point here as well. So let's just get on to the next one, and this is very, very important, and the name is the Gong. Now what is the Gong? The Gong is a sea mammal, and we were asked by UPSC this one question. I am not getting the exact question now, but maybe was something on this very line, that which of these, there were features of an animal stating it's herbivorous and its IUCN status is vulnerable. So what is the right answer? 4-5 options were there, so definitely dugong was the right answer, because this is how it is. We're gonna be studying its feature right now. It's a medium-sized marine mammal. We really don't need to memorize its size. It would suffice that it's a mammal. There was one of the statements. It's a marine. It resides right there in the ocean. Plus, it's a mammal. It's a species of sea cow found where? Found at the warm latitudes of Indian and the Western Pacific Ocean. So warm latitude is our keyword here. It's not found in the colder region. It's found in the warmer areas, and warmer latitude is something that gets the warmer places. And where? In the Indian and the Pacific Ocean. That's it. It is the only member of this family, and its closest living relatives are the manatees. Not important. Definitely not important. It is the only strictly herbivorous marine mammal. So this is important. Although it's a marine mammal, but it's not a carnivorous, it's a herbivorous one. So it eats seagrasses. The dugong is largely dependent on seagrass community for its subsistence. So it eats the seagrasses because it's a herbivorous animal, marine animal, herbivorous one. It can be found from East Africa to Australia, including the Red Sea, Indian Ocean, and the Pacific. So this is it. all these places are there at the warmer latitude region of the globe, and East Africa, Australia, Red Sea, Indian Ocean, Pacific is our keyword here. That's it. That's not something difficult to comprehend. Again, threats are hunting for their meat, oil, skin, bones and teeth, and threats to seagrass, climate change, etc., because they eat the seagrass, and if seagrasses are under threat, it means there is threat to their survival as well. Climate change is there. Now climate change is a very vague word, and it is threatening each and every species onto this planet Earth. It could be human beings and animals, so this is not something difficult to comprehend again. But hunting is definitely there for their meat, oil, skin, bones and teeth. That's it. Further, under IUCN, they got vulnerable category. Please memorize this thing. And under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, they are under Schedule 1. Under CITES, again Appendix 1. Again, nothing for us to comprehend. Everything is to be memorized. Recently, it found stranded in the Thai beach and has been named by the Thailand princes. Alright. Now this context is not important, but otherwise information about the Gong is definitely important. So it's there, residing in the warm latitudes and not in the colder regions. Further, it's a mammal. It is a herbivorous. It can be found in the East Africa to Australia and the Red Sea, Indian Ocean, Pacific. And under IUCN, it got vulnerable status under Schedule 1 of WPI, Wildlife Protection Act, of course, and under CITES Appendix 1. That's it. Again, this is how it is. We just have to memorize this. Further, we talk about Pashmina goat or Changthangi or Changrana. This is extremely important. Every word of this slide is important. Pashmina goat is there. It's a goat, and this is how it looks. It looks beautiful. It's a white color. That is stating one thing clear, not in its absolute terms, but just to find an absurd link to help us memorizing the thing. So it's a white color. It means it is found at a high region, and high region we know is in Tibet or Nepal or parts of Burma or Ladakh. So basically the plateaus of Tibet and Ladakh in J&K. Tibet, of course, a separate nation, maybe not nation, part of China. This is our official stand. So Tibet is a part of China, definitely, but let's just not deviate. Ladakh in J&K. So broad idea would suffice that it's residing in the higher areas, higher regions, higher elevations, altitudes and plateaus. They are raised for ultra fine Kashmiri wool, also known as Pashmina, once woven. So wool is there. It's very fine, and once it gets woven, we call it Pashmina, and it's ultra fine. This is the reason these goats are in high demand. These goats are generally domesticated and reared by nomadic communities called Changpa. So nomadic communities there, and we have named them Changpa. And where do they reside? They reside in the Changthang region of the Great Ladakh. This too is important. So Changpa, nomadic community or tribal ones residing in the Great Ladakh, Changthang region. Why we are studying it? Because recently Bureau of Indian Standard has published an Indian standard for identification, marking and labeling of Pashmina products to certify its purity, because these products are in very high demand and they fetch high prices because the wool is of very ultra fine quality. But what if some people are selling some other wool under the name of Pashmina? Just to not let this thing happen, BIS has come up with its separate identification marking and a labeling sort of thing, so that its purity would be guaranteed, so that customers who are buying the Pashmina shawl, they would be sure of the guarantee and they would be sure of the quality. Of course, this is the reason. Either way, it's really simple. We haven't yet understood it's any difficult part here in terms of IUCN status or anything, but again it's really simple. Pashmina got Changthang, Changra in Tibet, Nepal, Ladakh, J&K, ultra-fine Kashmiri wool. Pashmina is domesticated by the Changpa communities which reside in the Greater Ladakh region, and separate marking has been published by the BIS. That's it. Now moving on to this very species. Now this is what? This is Dracaena cambodiana. It's not a dragon. It's not something that looks like a dragon, because it's not a dragon. It's a plant. And why we're calling it Dracaena? Because this plant, it releases a sap. So every plant releases a sap. That's a liquid. If anybody is to cut a plant, a liquid sort of thing would come out, and we just call it sap. But in case of this very plant, what will happen is that if this sap comes right into contact with the air, then this sap would turns into a bright red color or resin, and we're just calling it dragon's blood, because it turns into bright red and we're calling it a blood, and dragons is there. So that's it. And this thing is used since ancient times as a medicine, oil, varnish, that is as a paint, incense, that is to create good fragrance, and as a dye. And this is it. This is for the first time that a dragon tree species has been reported from India belonging to the family Asparagaceae. So dragon tree species up till now used to be found in the China or in the South Asian nations, but this is the very first time that this has been reported from India as well, and this is the context and this is why we are studying it. Alright, Dracaena cambodiana is the only true dragon true species, that's it. Due to overexploitation, it is listed in the inventory of rare and endangered plants of China. Recently, researchers have discovered Dracaena cambodiana, a dragon tree species in the Dongka Sarpo area of West Karbi Anglong in Assam. Now we really don't need to memorize this much. This would suffice that this is basically a tree. When the sap comes in contact with air, it turns into red color, and this is why we're calling it dragon's blood. It is used since ancient time as a medicine, oil, varnish, incense, and dye. And for the very first time, it has been discovered from the Assam as well. And either way, we know Sarpo area of the West Karbi Anglong is in Assam, and it is under rare and endangered plants of China. This is either way obvious, because if something is to be used for these many things, it is bound to be undergo what? Over exploitation, and that's it. Again, this is simple. I have made these lectures in Hindi language as well, so if you can understand Hindi, I would urge you to kindly go through them, because I have tried to be very explanative here. I'm trying to be quick, because either way there is not much of an explanation that is to be done. Everything is to be memorized again. Alright, this is Tamil Yemen, and this something we'll cover towards the end because it's not important. Now, Gangetic dolphin is really important, and we just call it blind dolphin because it cannot see. Plus, when it comes at the surface to have air for the respiration, it creates a sound which turns out to be of su-su, and we just call it su-su as well. So, Gangetic dolphin, blind dolphin, that's it. Each and every word of this slide is again important, because we were having one question onto this, although the question was very simple, that which of them is the national aquatic animal of India. So the answer was Gangetic dolphin, that's it. But again, because it's a national aquatic animal of India, so we should be covering this thing in its entirety, so that if a question comes, we would be very sure of the answer. So it is found where? It is found in fresh water of Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna, Karnafuli, Sanghu river system of Nepal, India and Bangladesh. So point number 1, it is not found just in India, it is found in Nepal as well as Bangladesh. Where exactly? Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna and Karnafuli, Sanghu river system. It's a freshwater dolphin. Alright. Indus dolphin is a subspecies and found in the Indus River. This is either way simple, and we will be talking about all the subspecies of this, but let's just focus on this thing now. The dolphin is among the 4 obligate or true freshwater dolphins. So we are having 4 true freshwater dolphins. This is one of them. What are the other 3? Baji, which is likely to have gotten extinct, which is found in the Yangtze River in China. So scientists or researchers of the view that this Baji of the Yangtze River, which is in China, might have gotten extinct. But again, we just have to keep ourselves limited to the details which are here only. So Baji, where exactly is it? It's in China. Then Bhulan of Indus in Pakistan, and Boto of Amazon River in Latin America. Again, nothing to be understood, everything to be memorized. Baji, China, Yangtze, Bhulan, Indus, Pakistan, Boto, Amazon, Latin America, and definitely Gangetic dolphin is there in the Nepal, India and Bangladesh, in the Ganges Brahmaputra region and the Karnafuli Sanghu River. Alright. These 4 subspecies live only in rivers and lakes, that's it. It cannot breathe in the water, and it must come to surface every 30 and 120 seconds in order to breathe. And when it comes out, it makes a sound which we refer as su-su. Although its eye lacks a lens, the dolphin still uses its eye to locate it. It's not very important because we are not supposed to give any exam with geology related exam. So this would suffice that how exactly does it hunt its prey. So it emits ultrasonic sound, and when that sound bounces off any of its prey, it helps it to make an image of that very prey. That's it. We know how ultrasonic system works. This is not unique to dolphin. It is there right to locate any submarine system as well. It is the official animal of the Indian city of Guwahati. Now, state-wise official animal is not important. All we have to keep it up is a national-wise list. So, it's a national aquatic animal of India. That's important. For the first time, a population of Gangetic river dolphin has been found where? In the Mahananda river in Bihar's Kishanganj district. So either way, it's not something difficult to comprehend because it's found right there in the Ganges, Brahmaputra and Meghna system. And Ganges passes through Bihar as well. And Mahananda river is there in the Bihar. So maybe it's not easy for these poor creatures to determine the political boundaries of the state. So again, nothing difficult to comprehend. IUCN status is endangered, sites under Appendix 1, WPA Schedule 1 under CMS Appendix 2, so there is a lot to be memorized here. And again, they are among the 21 species identified under the centrally sponsored scheme development of wildlife habitat. So everything got highlighted, but let's just not deviate. So everything is important here, and this is how it is. So Gangetic dolphin is there, national aquatic animal of India, inhabit Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna, Karnafuli, Sangho river system. That's it. And it emits ultrasonic sound, and when it gets off the prey, it builds its image into its mind, and this is how it identifies its prey. It's the official animal of Guwahati. Not important. Why we are studying it? Because for the very first time, the population of this very dolphin has been found from the Mahananda river as well, and which is in the Bihar. It passes through West Bengal as well, but again you can read more about Mahananda river on your own. Under IUCN, it got endangered status under CITES Appendix 1, WPA Schedule 1 and CMS Appendix 2. Alright, so how to memorize this? So I have done it this way because it's a national aquatic animal of India. So this is only one aquatic animal is there that has got the national status. It's a Gangetic dolphin. So in case of that very species, in case of CITES, CITES has gotten only one I, so it is under Appendix 1. And if it's under Appendix 1 of CITES, which has got only one I, then under CMS it would automatically be under Appendix 2. So this is how I have memorized. It is absurd, it is weird, but then it really comes handy because at the end of the day we have to memorize a lot of things, and this is really important. So you too can come up with your own thing that can help you in memorizing, but then this is how it is. Let's just move on to the next one. So it's a gharial. Now this is extremely boring, but let's just cover it now because we have to cover all the species that were in the news in the month of July in this very lecture only. So gharial is there. It's the longest and the rarest crocodile. Alright, it's not a crocodile. It's like a gharial is one thing, and then mugger is one thing, and the crocodile is one thing. But again, we really don't need to do any sort of PhD here because it's written over here. It's the longest and the rarest crocodile, so it must be so. Alright, so this is one point about gharial. Major population remains in three tributaries of Ganges river, the Chambal and the Griva rivers in India, and the Rapti Narayani river in Nepal. So it's found in India as well as in Nepal, and what idea we've gotten from here is that it's found in the northern part of India as well as in the Odisha. So it's not something that is found in the Western Ghats or at the coastal areas per se. It's broadly towards the northern part of India. For example, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, but it's there in the Odisha as well. This is our broad idea. National Gharial Wildlife Sanctuary is there in the Chambal, which is in Madhya Pradesh. Under IUCN, it's critically endangered, very, very important. Any species who has gotten the critically endangered status under the IUCN, it automatically becomes important. Odisha is the only state in India having all three species of Gharial, Mugger and saltwater crocodiles. That's important. That's it. Let's just go through this tiny detail as well. So here we are having the crocodile species found in India. So one is the saltwater crocodile. As the name suggests, it is residing in the salt water, and we should be having a fair bit of idea which water is exactly fresh water or brackish water or salt water. That is there in the NCERT, of course. And found in the coastal areas of Odisha, West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. They are apex predator. IUCN is least concern. That's it. Second is the mugger crocodile, which inhabits the freshwater, lakes, ponds, sluggish water, swamps and marshes. So either way, there is one crocodile which is specifically for the salt water. So rest of them are for the freshwater, lakes, ponds, sluggish rivers, swamps and marshes, and which we are calling as mugger. It is found throughout the Indian subcontinent. It means it is found not just in India but in Nepal, Bangladesh, etc. as well. IUCN status is vulnerable. Now again, there is nothing to be understood here. Please memorize this. I mean, this is how it is. One way of memorizing could be, it's like salt, water. So L is there, so least concern. Salt, somehow we're getting the L sound, so least concern, it's IUCN status. And in case of mugger, it's M, it's V. It's like a music video. Mugger, crocodile, vulnerable, that's it. Let's just get on to the next one. Here, rhino has resurfaced, and as I've already explained, this is very, very important for UPSC purpose, and we would definitely be talking about it, but not now. We'll be coming up with a good dedicated video on the rhinos, so that we end up having a fair bit or a complete hold over black rhino, white rhino, Indian rhino, Sumatran rhino, Javan rhino. That's it. Last species is here, but we are talking about one more as well, but let's just get through this one. Sahiwal cattle, very, very important. Why we are calling it a Sahiwal cattle? Because it's there in the Sahiwal area, which is in the Montgomery district, which is in the Punjab, and Punjab of India or Pakistan, of Pakistan definitely. So this breed originated from this place, and this is why we're calling it Sahiwal cattle. It is considered one of the best milch cattle breed of India. So it gives milk, this is why a milch, and it's a cattle, that's it. These animals are also known as Lambi Bar, Lola, Montgomery, Multani, and Teli. So if a question comes, these all are what? So they are a breed of cattle, Sahiwal cattle, that's it. Because we did have one question wherein 4-5 species or these local names were given, and we've asked what were these. So those indeed were the cattle breeds, that's it. So again, this too can be asked. So even if it's seemingly unimportant, but then it's not, it's important. Lambibar, Lola, Montgomery, Multani, Teli, all these are what? These are the animals, Sahiwal cattle, that's it. So we have covered all the species except one. So let's just get through that as well. So here it is here. Tamil Yeoman. Alright, so its scientific name is this one, Sirocora thais. So this is how it is. Why we are studying it? Because this is a butterfly. Number one, it's a butterfly. Tamil Yeoman is a butterfly, and it has been declared as its state butterfly by which state? By Tamil Nadu. So we can really get a hint. Tamil means Tamil Nadu. So this is the, somehow we can get the hint of this thing. It's really not important, but anything can be asked, so we have to cover it. Tamil Nadu has declared the Tamil Yeoman butterfly species as the state butterfly. It is endemic to Western Ghats. Tamil Nadu, it's there in the southern part of India. Its area is a part of Western Ghats, and this is how we can get the hint. It's endemic to Western Ghats. It is uniformly orange in color with a dark brown outer ring. So it's of orange color, that's it, as we can see right here in this photo. And its outer ring is of a dark brown and maybe black, and that's it. Also known as Tamil Maravan, which means warrior, alright. It moves in groups in large numbers, but at few places, and are rare and are found mainly in hilly area. Either way, Western Ghats means hilly areas, and it's endemic to that very place. It means it's found in the hilly areas. Butterflies are significant for environment as they play the main role in pollination and the food chain. So that's it. They sit onto a plant or any flower, and the pollens get attached onto them and then fly onto different flower, and this is how they do this work of pollination, transferring of pollen from one flower to another. For many other species like birds and reptiles, butterflies become a prey, so it's a part of food chain. Somebody gets eaten by somebody else, somebody eats somebody else. This is how food chain works. Tamil Nadu is the 5th state in the country to announce its state butterfly. So that is the reason it's not important, because this is the 5th state in the country which has declared any species as its state butterfly. And which one was the first? This is important. The first one was the Maharashtra. And what was that species? It was a state butterfly. Which one? Blue Mormon. So if we get really unlucky, at least this would be asked. Which was the first state which declared a state butterfly as its state butterfly? It's a Blue Mormon, Maharashtra, that's it. Then after, Uttarakhand declared the common peacock as its state butterfly, and then Karnataka declared southern birdwing as its state butterfly, and finally at the 4th number, Kerala declared Malabar banded peacock or Buddha butterfly as its state butterfly, and finally we are seeing Tamil Nadu also following suit by declaring this Tamil, Yemen as its state butterfly. That's it. So we have covered all the species that were in news in the month of July. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the species that were in news in the month of August, and you can download the PDF from the Telegram channel. It's right here, Current Affairs PCM. So do join this Telegram channel to download the PDF, and we are done with this thing. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.